Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Foundation Fortnight. This is episode 2. Before I start off, I would like to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart who watched my last Foundation Fortnight video, which was on Huda Beauty Faux Filter foundation. That video now has almost 900 views. I mean, my YouTube channel is like a newborn baby. And of course I do my videos because I love to do them, but each of the views, each and every one of them, the views, the subscriptions, like, share, comment, everything motivates and encourages me a lot. So thank you so much and keep encouraging me like this. And if you haven't watched that video yet, I will link it right up here and also in the description box so you can check it out. Now let's get into today's video. In today's video, I'm going to review the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation. So last time we did Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation and this time we are doing Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation. So basically the first month of Foundation Fortnight is filter foundation, and that's not a surprise because we are living in Snapchat filter era. Now in case you are not interested in makeup like a month ago and now you are and you don't know what Fenty Beauty is, so Fenty Beauty is a brand newly launched by Rihanna. Fenty is her last name, so that's why the name Fenty Beauty. I have to say Fenty Beauty launch has to be the biggest makeup launch of the year. So it launched, I believe, 6th September. I remember it was a Friday and there was this huge launch party in New York and she herself was present at midnight at the Sephora at Times Square, and she herself given out some products and stuff like that. So it was really awesome. Now when Rihanna came out with her beauty line, she did not came out with eyeshadow or one single product. She came out with a full face bunch of products. So she came out with foundation, primer, beauty sponges, makeup brushes, concealer, highlighter, you name it. In today's video we are going to talk about her foundation and couple of more related stuff. Before we start talking about the foundation, I do want to mention that when she launched her foundation, she launched it in 40 shades. I really appreciate that fact. She covered from the very lightest to the very richest skin tone. That's awesome. Rihanna, you did great, girl. So take a bow. Now that is out of the way, let's talk about the products itself. So first we are going to talk about the Fenty Beauty foundation. It's called the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. I also have her primer. So the primer is called Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer, and I also got her Precision Makeup Sponge. First let's talk about the packaging. So this is the foundation. As you can see, the box has this beautiful black and white graphics going on. Like most of her other products are also like this. This also has, as you can see, a little bit of black and white graphics. This one as well. So I really like that, this outer packaging. It's quite different, quite unique as a makeup product. So I really like that fact. Once you open it up, this is how the foundation bottle looks like. This has this frosted glass going on with this white cap. This packaging feels very luxurious. I really like the packaging. Same with the primer packaging, frosted glass, and this one has this nude pink colored cap. So very beautiful packaging. This foundation and all of her makeup line is available everywhere at Sephora in the US and also at Harvey Nichols in the UK. Both the foundation and the primer has 32 ml or 1.08 fluid ounce of product. Generally the foundations comes in 30 ml of product, so it has a little bit more. This foundation retails for $34 and the primer retails for $32. So I feel, given this beautiful packaging and everything, the foundation is really reasonably priced, because I do not remember any other foundation at Sephora that is less than $34. All are generally around the range of $40 to $50 or higher. It's almost like a MAC foundation price. So I really like that fact. So guys, I am in the shade 300. I also tried 310, which turned out to be too orangey for me. 300 is, I don't know if you can see in the camera, probably not, but 300, my face is a little darker than my chest, but that's alright. It's not, I don't like going for a paler foundation and then end up looking ashy, so a little darker foundation always great than a little pale foundation. I also did swatched 280, which is warm peach tone, and 270, which is warm tone. I will insert a swatch comparison here. However, I feel 280, 270, 280, 290. 290 is, I think, olive skin tone. All of them are much lighter than 300, as you probably can see in the swatch comparison as well. So 300 is the perfect match for my skin tone. I do want to mention here that once you put on the foundation, as probably you can also see in the demo, it takes a little bit of time to dry down and dry down to its truest color. So if you are trying to find your shade in the store, do not just swatch and decide. First swatch and then let it dry, just roam around a little bit and let it dry, and then try to compare. So for your reference, I am a MAC NC40 to NC42, and in Estee Lauder Double Wear I am in the shade 4W1 Honey Bronze. So since this foundation's launch, this foundation has been loved by many. So today we are going to try it out ourselves and we'll see that how much it lives up to its reputation. So first, see what are the claims about this foundation on the Fenty Beauty website. So on the Fenty Beauty website, it says it's a soft matte long wear foundation with buildable medium to full coverage in a boundary breaking range of 40 shades. Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Long Wear Foundation gives skin an instantly smooth, pore diffused, shine free finish that easily builds to medium to full coverage. Best of all, this long wearing light as air texture is undetectable on skin, so you always look like you. We'll test the foundation out and see how much those claims are holding up. Now let's get into the demo. So first I will apply the Pro Filt'r Instant Retouch Primer. This primer feels like I am putting on a moisturizer. I do think it filled in my pores a little bit, but I still can see them, but not as much as I would usually do. So I would say this primer is somewhat working. So this basically feels like that I have put on a moisturizer. That's about it. As always, I will put the foundation with my Morphe M439 brush on one side of my face, and I will use the Fenty Beauty sponge to put the foundation on the other side. Okay, so let's try with the brush first. I'll take a little more. With the brush, at least it has given me decent coverage. I can still see my freckles right here, but other than that, I feel like it has given me decent coverage. I would say like medium to buildable coverage. Now let's try with the sponge. I will shake the foundation really well as it says in the instruction. The sponge is very soft. I'd like to say it's even softer than my beauty blender, but I like it. I'll take a little more. Do you see that this side is looking lighter than this side? So whenever I am putting the foundation on, like taking from my hand and putting it on, I see there is a color difference from the other side, but then it's becoming the same color on both sides. Okay, so the foundation is all done. The finish is very beautiful. It just looks like my own skin. Looks like I have just put on some moisturizer and stuff like that. And for me, it didn't completely dry down to matte. I don't know if that's because I had all my moisturizer and oil and serum on before I put on the primer and the foundation. But for me, it did not give me completely matte look, which I like. I don't really like complete matte look. I like a little bit of glow in my foundation. So I like this finish. So yeah, this is how it looks. Now I will go ahead and finish all of my makeup and I'll be right back. So guys, I'm back and I have finished all my makeup. So it is 8:23 right now. I will wear this foundation throughout the day. I will check in once or twice in between, and of course I will give my final check-in at the end of the day. So the foundation is looking pretty good right now. I have put all my makeup. You saw that I used my other Fenty Beauty makeups as well. So right now this looks very beautiful. The finish is very nice. So yeah, I will keep wearing this foundation and I will see you next in my first check-in. Hi guys, so it's almost 12:30 now. So the first check-in I did, it was around 8:23 I believe, and I think I put the foundation on around 8. So it has been almost 4.5 hours since I have put on this foundation. And I did check in the mirror also. I think the foundation looks really good. I don't see any difference since the time I put it on. Yeah, so after 4 hours it still looks quite perfect. It's really raining out here today, and I'm working from home today, so I'm just filming in my balcony and there are noise outside, but yeah, the foundation looks good. Hi guys, welcome back. So it's 3:09 right now. So this is my, I would say, like second and last check-in. When I first put this foundation on, honestly it looked quite flawless. It does give you that pore diffused beautiful finish. It's like more than 7 hours I have this foundation on. From a little far away you cannot really see anything. It still looks quite flawless. If you go really close to your mirror, I can definitely see my pores now. In person, definitely I feel like some of the coverage has worn off a little bit. Not too much, but definitely a little bit it has worn off. So one thing so let's get into the summary of this foundation. First, let's talk about the coverage. The coverage is definitely not a full, this is not a full coverage foundation, but then it did not claim to be a full coverage foundation. It claimed to be a medium to buildable coverage. I can definitely attest to a medium coverage. I guess you can build it a little bit. This is not my first impression of this foundation. I have worn it before, and if I do not try to layer too much on, then it looks flawless, I think, for longer time. But if I try to build it up like today, and I also did that couple of times before, I think it looks worse as time passes by. Like, not, I would not say time passes by, I would say like after 5-6 hours it doesn't look as good. You saw that I tried it both with brush as well as the sponge. I felt like the brush side gave it a little more coverage. I did like the Fenty Beauty sponge because it was very soft, even softer than my beauty blender, and the special shape of it also helped me put the concealer in like my corner of the eyes and all those places. So I do recommend the beauty sponge, and I like how it applied with the beauty sponge. It did say that if you apply the foundation with the dry sponge, that will give you more coverage. However, I did try it with the dry sponge. I did not like the application. I did try it with the wet sponge, and I like it how it applies with the wet sponge, although it doesn't give as much coverage, but I like the finish better. So coverage, yes, I would say it's medium to some extent buildable, but my tip is do not put layer on layer. At max you can go 2 layers, but that's it, not more than that. Next, I will talk about the finish of the foundation. It definitely gave me a beautiful finish right after I put it on. It definitely diffused my pore to some extent. I would not say that it's the primer. The primer did fill up my pores a little bit. I guess it does its job decent enough. But the foundation, after I put the foundation on the top of the primer at the very beginning, definitely gave a very beautiful finish. I loved the finish of this foundation, and it didn't look cakey at all. It didn't look like that I have anything on other than my makeup. It didn't look like I have foundation on, and I actually layered it up, so it did not look like that I have layered a foundation on my skin. It looked just my natural skin, but of course much more blurred out effect and pore diffusing effect. Next, I'm going to talk about how it feels on the skin. So there also I'm very impressed. It feels very lightweight on the skin. I did not feel like I'm wearing any foundation, although I layered it up. I actually, as I mentioned, this is not a first impression, so I have been wearing this foundation, and whenever I wear this foundation, I never feel like I'm wearing a lot of makeup or anything like that. Now let's talk about the performance or longevity of this foundation. In its claim, it did claim to be long wearing. However, it didn't say about any number of hours. Long wearing doesn't have a perfect definition, right? So this foundation, I feel, wore perfectly for 6 hours, I would like to say. When you layer it up and you are trying to build the coverage, it would look quite flawless for 6 hours. I believe if you do not layer it up, it will still look flawless for even more hours. But if you build it up and put layer on layer, then it might start looking a little bit weird here and there. However, nothing too crazy, you know. I mean, I don't think that this is something I cannot wear anymore and I have to take it off right now. It's nothing like that, but it did look a little bit weird around my nose and pore areas. But that's about it. It's nothing too crazy. So I wouldn't say this is a 12-hour long wearing foundation, but you can easily wear this foundation for 7-8 hours. And last but not the least, I do want to talk about the shade range of this foundation. And as I mentioned in the very beginning, this foundation launched with 40 different shades. So full 5 points for that. And if you're someone who doesn't want to wear full coverage foundation on a daily basis like me, I do like my full coverage foundation, but for a daily basis I feel like I don't want a full coverage foundation and feel like I am wearing too much makeup. That's a huge pro of this foundation, that it feels so lightweight on the skin. You don't really feel like you are wearing tons of makeup. It does give you a beautiful finish. The only thing is, I would say that it will not give you too much coverage, or it will not hold up the coverage for way too long period of time. So those are the only cons, I would say. Otherwise, this is a beautiful foundation in my opinion. If I would definitely wear it on a daily basis. When I wear it on a daily basis, I would not try to build it up too much and put layer on layer. What I will do, probably I will put one layer, and then maybe at specific places when I feel like I need more coverage, I'll go with a second layer. But that's about it. I will not try to go for more layers at all. And then in that case, I think it will be more long wearing, at least for 7-8 hours. It will look quite beautiful. So yeah, those were the pros and cons about this foundation. Overall, whether this foundation gets an yay or nay from me, it definitely gets an yay. So yeah, that was my review of the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r foundation. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!